Right, we told you we'd bring you up to date with the transfer news, and we are going to do just that because
the moment Arsenal fans had been eagerly waiting for finally arrived. Eberechi Eze, the magician from South London, stepped onto the London Colney training grounds wearing the Arsenal crest for the first time. Less than an hour after completing his medicals, Eze wasted no time showing his commitment, energy, and desire to get started. While many would have taken the rest of the day off to celebrate such a career-defining moment, Eze went straight to the pitch. It was a gesture that didn't go unnoticed, not by the staff, not by his new teammates, and certainly not by the millions of Arsenal fans glued to their screens. As cameras flashed and drones hovered above the training ground, the 26-year-old playmaker was spotted warming up with the first team, his every movement carefully observed. Donning Arsenal's fresh new season training kit, Eze already looked like he belonged. There was no sign of nerves. Instead, there was a look of purpose, a silent promise to deliver. The coaches and Arteta himself watched closely as Eze settled into drills with Bukayo Saka, Martin Ødegaard, Gabriel Jesus, and the rest of the squad. And it didn't take long for the oohs and ahs to begin. Within minutes, Eze was weaving through cones with ease, zipping passes into tight spaces, and effortlessly gliding across the turf. One particular moment sent social media into meltdown: a quick flick over Declan Rice's foot, followed by a no-look pass to Leandro Trossard that split the defense open. This was the statement Arsenal fans had been dreaming of. Not just the transfer, not just the medical, but a player coming in and immediately integrating like he was born to wear red and white. Mikel Arteta stood by, arms folded, but with a smile that betrayed his usual stoic demeanor. He knew what he had just added to his squad. Eze wasn't just another flashy signing. He was a game changer, someone who could unlock low blocks, turn tight matches, and offer the creative spark that could push Arsenal from challengers to champions. The atmosphere at Colney felt electric. Even the long-serving staff whispered about Eze's swagger on the ball. It wasn't arrogance. It was confidence honed from years of battling doubters, overcoming injuries, and proving himself every time he was underestimated. At Crystal Palace, he was the crown jewel. At Arsenal, he was now part of a royal court of young, ambitious, and supremely talented players determined to bring glory back to the Emirates. His connection with Saka looked instant. The two danced around defenders in a rondo that had even some senior players clapping from the sidelines. There was laughter, chest bumps, and a lot of pointing, not in confusion, but in admiration. Even Ødegaard, the club captain known for his high standards, was seen whispering to Eze mid-drill, followed by a fist bump and a smile. Chemistry was already bubbling. And then came the mini-match at the end of the session. Split into two teams, Eze found himself alongside Kai Havertz, Thomas Partey, and Jurrien Timber. On the opposite side, Rice, Saka, Ødegaard, and Tomiyasu. It was competitive, intense, and fast-paced, but Eze held his own. Midway through the game, he picked up the ball just outside the box, feinted a shot, nutmegged his marker, and curled the ball into the top corner past Ramsdale. Players rushed over, celebrating as if it were a real game. The quality was unmistakable. Off the pitch, staff members were quick to note Eze's humility. After training, he shook hands with every coach, thanked the kit men, and even spent time chatting with academy players who watched from the sidelines. That type of leadership by example is rare, especially from a player in his first session. Yet Eze seemed aware that this was not just about playing football. It was about becoming part of a culture, part of a family that Mikel Arteta has spent 4 years building. And he embraced it fully. Fans outside the training ground also got a glimpse. As he exited the pitch, Still sweaty from drills, Eze walked over to the barriers to sign autographs, pose for selfies, and smile for countless phone cameras. For the fans, this was not just about securing a talented player, it was about welcoming someone who could potentially become a club icon. And Eze he responded with warmth, humility, and the aura of someone who knew he was stepping into a legacy, not just a club. Arsenal insiders report that Eze is already asking for extra individual sessions, eager to understand Arteta's tactics, his pressing triggers, his positional play rules, and his expectations during transitions. It's no surprise. Throughout his time at Palace, Eze was known for his work ethic and obsession with improving. Now, under a manager like Arteta and surrounded by world-class talent, that drive is likely to skyrocket. The buzz among teammates was real. One unnamed senior player was overheard saying, "This guy's going to cook the season." And judging by his performance on day one, that's not an exaggeration. Eze has the skill set to play in multiple positions as a left-sided 8, a central 10, or even drifting wide into half spaces. That versatility gives Arteta the tactical fluidity he craves. As the day wrapped up, Eze stayed back to chat with Arteta and Edu. The body language was telling. Arteta spoke passionately, gesturing about movement, positioning, and patterns of play. Eze listened intently, nodding, absorbing it all like a sponge. It was the beginning of a new chapter, and one that promised fireworks. The wider football world is now watching. Arsenal's intent is clear. After narrowly missing out on the title 2 seasons in a row, they've now added a player who offers unpredictability, grace, and imagination in the final third. A player who doesn't just fit into the system but enhances it. Eze's journey to North London might have seemed sudden to outsiders, but for those in the know, it was a calculated move, months in the making. The message is simple: Arsenal mean business. And with Eze now officially part of the project, their ambitions for silverware just got a major boost. His first training session is already making headlines, not just for what he did, but for how he did it, with class, flair, and hunger. This is the beginning of something special. For Eze. For Arsenal. For the fans. The red and white revolution rolls on.